Right then, here we are at the beginning of July. A lot of interesting stuff happened, actually. Not so much on the main front. Seeing spread out of actually sending Denikin up north and Wrangel's taking over the southern, although, as I did mention, sent Chernikov or whatever over into the Crimea to open up another front. North on this, Stalin and I don't remember who's up there, managed to catch Kolchak's little expedition across the river and destroyed part of it, the rest of it starving to death. We do have a problem down here, which after Tsaritsyn fell, we got too many troops. We can't really supply them even with a leader anymore, so sent some poor unit off to its death. Alright, other interesting stuff. Down in the south, Kirov's having a hell of a time between the Ukrainians and the Poles that he's facing. He's been dispatching units left and right. You'll see a lot of supply problems. Speaking of the Poles, they fired off a couple of interdicts on the rails and caused some serious supply problems to the generals Igorov and I don't remember who that is. I don't know. Who are facing him directly, and they're having some trouble there. Now, the Germans allowed the Poles to cross their territory and to attack. I don't think I mentioned Lithuania fell. That was kind of bloodless. No fighting whatsoever. Okay, up to the north. Miller finally fell. He made a quick charge out after retreating, and some cav hunted him down and killed him. The only real danger there was he could link up with the Siberians, give a political point, and give them his additional forces, which I have already thrown away, or bagged. So it seemed like it was worth risking losing a cav unit to isolation, which will has a good chance of happening, given the Bolsheviks. Trotsky got tons more reinforcements, but Yudenich came charging out and smacked his units, killed a cav unit, a big cav unit, and has added new life to the Finnish resistance there. That's about it right now. Overall, the Poles are hell. They kick some serious ass. They have a big, very good army. And as long as they plod forward carefully, not only are they tying down 3 armies, but they could conceivably destroy those armies. So the Russians are hoping for a peace sometime. Didn't come up out of the event chits this time. That's about it, I guess. Oh, you know, something I haven't shown for since I got them. New games came. 3 new ones. Rock of the Marne in Burma. I want to try the OCS, which is why Burma's up there, and then A Most Dangerous Time, which looks really interesting, but we'll see. The rules are scary, just color-wise. All right, that's it for this one. August of 20. Things definitely heated up a little bit, and the overall turn took a long time. This wasn't just me dragging my feet, although I definitely do that. Let's see what we got. First of all, let's go someplace unimportant. Yudenich and the Finns, they're still holding on, but there's not a lot of hope there. Trotsky, able to devote all his attention to them, is going to crush them. Question is just when Finland surrenders, because that'll free up the troops. Over in Poland, big things happened. The Polish finally launched a real offensive and drove the Bolsheviks back, killed a couple of units. They didn't get the air interdiction advantages they had last time. They tried, they just didn't get them. And meanwhile, Kirov seems to have somewhat recovered. He ran away from the Poles, which always helps. but he squished some Ukrainians, and yeah, there's still a supply of them, so it's hard to tell what's happening. But here's the big news, the Wrangel situation. So the initial breakout from the Crimea was successful. I didn't show that. That was kind of pretty. They just sort of cracked the line, and the entire red line swung back, being chased by, actually Denikin. Wrangel shifted over. But there were just attacks all along that southern front, and the Bolsheviks were pushed back significantly, actually. On the other hand, Blucher created himself a little bulge. Although it's not perfect, there's an imperfection right here, which probably means he's going to get some damage. And drove a wedge between the two different white factions. In the north, everything's pretty much the same. Stalin keeps trying to do something, but he had to wipe out the out-of-supply units. And killing out-of-supply units isn't all that easy in this game. You can just let them die, but you can't really just leave them there. On the other hand, the guy who was running away disappeared, and some others did too. Seeing some builds, big event shit this time was the whites gave support to the southern faction, which gives them a pile of replacement points. They're still supporting the Poles, which is really big. Basically, right now, the question comes down to can the Poles do enough damage before the Bolsheviks sue for peace. I want to catch this one moment just because it's very pretty what's happening to the Siberians here. Well, not for them, but because of the pulsing of the movement, it's very hard. One headquarters moves, then the other player gets to move a headquarters, etc. There's some coordination. It's very hard to arrange to get out of a situation like this. So there's sort of this impending doom feeling that you know you got to leave at some point, and you know you're going to get hurt doing so, but you try to delay it as much as possible, and it looks like that as much as possible is right about now. Next turn they've got to try to get out. But I think it reflects it a lot better than a game that just shows the entire overall front. It's much harder to clear out in this. In that it's either, oh look, I got to break through and you're doomed, or oh look, you ran away in time. Here there's something much more interesting to my view. It's just a matter of level of abstraction, I think, but by not having a full I go, you go type turn sequence, you get things like this, and I think it's very pretty. All right.